Hey guys, this is Jesse.
And Keith.
And you're listening to another episode of New Player Has Joined.
This is a podcast about the video games people love and why they love them.
And we've got a doozy for you guys today.
It's such a doozy.
It's such a doozy that I whipped out the word doozy.
Oh my God,
like
it's so
exciting. Like an 84-year-old man describing a good soup. I use the word doozy.
Guys, this is a knockout. It's one punch with a haymaker after that and just knocks you out.
We got to teach you boxing.
I don't understand it at all.
Today on the show, we've got the one and only Mr. Ron Funches.
And we are talking about The Last of Us. Oh my gosh. Now, guys,
I want to put a disclaimer here.
Let's put a disclaimer out there. The thing about this show is we love you guys.
We love you so much,
guys.
You look great
You
tonight.
look awesome today.
You know what? You've been working really hard. We appreciate all the work you've been doing.
So here's a raise. Anyways, here's the show. Guys, so here's the thing. We love you guys, and we want to make sure every single episode is fantastic. And
this is true.
What we do before every single episode is we prepare, we write, we figure out what game you want to play, and then we get questions and surveys.
We do
and
a lot
quizzes.
of research. We play the game if we haven't played it before. We do a lot of legwork for this show, and sometimes people don't remember the game that well. So we invited Ron Funches on to talk about The Last of Us, and he is a huge fan of the game.
He's a huge fan of Naughty Dog, all those games.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
But he is also somebody who played The Last of Us once, was deeply impacted by it, and was so impacted by it that he went, and I'll never play it again because it's too much. Which, if you've played the game, makes total sense. It makes all the sense in the world. So, this episode is going to be titled The Last of Us. Ish.
Which is a character in The Last of Us.
It's true.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense, guys.
It makes total sense.
But Ron's awesome. He's hilarious.
This episode
he loves
is
the game.
So great.
I love it. But I guess what we're really saying is eventually we're going to have another guest on to talk about The Last of Us to really dig into the finer points of it.
And it'll just be Ron Funches again.
I hope
so. We apologize.
Because he was a fucking blast.
He's so much fun, guys.
Guys, enjoy Ron Funches because we sure as hell did. It's a good time.
This new player has joined.
Waiting for Friday and the new Dragon Ball game comes out.
Oh, yeah?
And then, so in the meantime, I'm getting back into Overwatch since they just had some new maps and content drop.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm playing a little bit of PUBG.
Oh, nice. How's PUBG? I haven't jumped into it yet.
It's terrifying. If you want to know what it feels like to live in a situation where you think you're going to die at any point. And so then at some points it's awesome because you're like, man, I'm gonna die. So let me live as free as possible.
Yeah.
Until then, let me get in the car and just drive around and just try to run people over. And it's just like, you're like, well, it's something really fun about it.
It's more of a game about acceptance.
Yeah. I don't think it's even about winning. I think for some people it is. I've never won. The closest I've gotten is like second and third place. One time me and my friend were playing and he was in second place. Had the bead on the guy.
Yeah.
Looking like we were like, oh, we're going to get a first chicken dinner. Yeah. And then my son signs in on his Xbox and then we just poop out of the game.
Just lose it entirely.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Did your friend turn you on to it, or how did you find it?
I like Kotaku, Polygon, wherever. I'm on gaming sites every morning. I check those regular people check actual news.
Right.
And so I'm always up on what's going on, and I just wanted to get into a little PC gaming, and I gotten a computer that was capable to do some VR and some 4K.
Oh, you're
gaming.
doing VR now?
A little bit. Not much. I tried it, and then I realized it was all carnival games. So I was like, well, I wasted $800.
Which is exactly how you feel when you play a carnival game in the first place.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, they got the experience down pat. Except for I don't get a stuffed animal.
Yeah, man. There's no carny who's got 3 cigarette tracks on his arm from where he put out butts. You want to play this bowler game again? No, man, I don't.
Is Overwatch a lot of difficult to play? Because I feel like you need your friends to play with you, or else you're going to die immediately and you have the worst experience.
It can be frustrating to play. I was playing solo today, and it was definitely frustrating to play with people who didn't because if you're used to just playing regular shooters and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go rack up kills, you're probably going to lose because it's all objective based and nobody was really going for the objective. But a lot of times you meet new friends, and I had such a fun. I mean, what's been the best part for me is like that game's been out for such a long time now, and like I fell out of it and started moving on the other games, and then just decided that I didn't have anything to play, and it was like, oh, I'll go back, check it out, and I fell right back in love with it, and it was just like getting on a bike. And not only did I have like a couple of my older friends that were still playing, but then I had like this whole new group of friends, and who were new, who they had just got into the game.
Okay,
and so it's awesome and it's fun. Like I play with a lot of pro wrestlers, and
that's the
fun.
best.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Not a bad existence right there.
Do they sound as aggressive as they do over the mic?
On occasion. On occasion where you're like, okay, I get it. Like, you're aggressive. And if I was near you, you might have thrown a chair at me. They're aggressive people.
Hey guys, welcome to New Players Join, a podcast about the video games people love and why they love them.
Oh, we got a fun one today.
Oh, it's so fun.
We
today.
should stop saying that. Every time we say we got
this
a fun
one's
one
going to
today,
be a lot of fun.
It really sounds like the other
shut
ones.
it down.
Not going to be fun.
Not fun.
We got a bad
guys,
episode
I'm
for you guys.
Grown up, and I don't like games. I'm ready to tell you why you're wrong.
Ron is wearing an N64 shirt as he says that.
Yeah, and I mean, we should introduce him before we even go into this.
Even though you've already seen his name on the podcast as you click play.
Yeah, I mean, you know his comedy, you know his great albums, you know him from At Midnight, you know him from Undateable. I mean, Ron, what should we say that people know you from? What's your favorite thing?
That they know me from being a positive individual. That they know me from like just really being handsome. And, that they know me from like being a good dad. They're like seeing you on the internet being a father. And we like that about you. Some of your shows we didn't like, but yo, being a dad and being a good dude and you're funny, that we like about you. I think that's the best way. And then also curb your enthusiasm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the hilarious Ron Funches in studio with us today, and thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
And what game are we all talking about today, guys? What are we talking about?
At the crux of this, we're talking about The Last of Us. Ooh, baby, we're talking about The Last of Us.
Oh, a game that every single person comes in and goes, can we talk about The Last of Us?
And we say, no, we're saving it for Ron Funches.
And then I came in and go, I don't really want to talk about The Last of Us.
You guys played Spelunky? We're not talking about Spelunky.
God, get on board. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of Naughty Dog in general. I love Naughty Dog. I love just about everything they've done. The Uncharted series is one of my favorite series. I love Crash Bandicoot,
obviously.
My son and I just love them, and I love The Last of Us. Here's how much I really like it is that I am not a fan of horror movies or games or anything that scares me in general. I'm like, okay, cool. You wanted to scare me. Mission accomplished. I feel bad now. I hope you're happy.
It's like going to a restaurant. It's like they specialize in making you nauseous. You're like, why would I want that?
Why would I? Ooh, the bad parts. But it's such a good game, such a great story, an adult story, and you get so just so wrapped up in it that I beat it on PlayStation 3, and then I beat it again on the remaster, and it's just a beautiful game.
Yeah, it's a deeply emotionally affecting story and something that really stuck with me.
Yeah. Especially, I think, being a father.
Yeah.
It really was like, oh, no. This is the worst nightmare.
This is way different than Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Not a single one of these characters is smashing boxes in cargo shorts.
So were you playing Uncharted before this?
Yeah.
So when you played this, were you like, wait, why is Uncharted like way harder now and scarier?
Yeah, why is it darker? It's still very pretty.
Yeah.
But it's just like, wow, now it's terrifying, and everybody's got mushroom heads.
Yeah.
So
just imagine National Treasure 2 was 28 days later. That's basically the switch from Uncharted to The Last of Us. Well, do you have, like, when you look back on this, can you walk us through the first time you played this game and, like, that opening sequence?
Yeah, okay, all right. So basically, I was like, oh, it's cool. They're a fun family.
This is going great so far.
Yeah.
We're going to be making dinners together. I look forward to this entertainment.
And then, oh, where's my dad at? I don't know where he is. I'm walking around the house looking for my dad for a little bit. And then it's like, whoa, that dude's scary. He's coming through the house, and it's just like, oh, I thought you were a friend of ours. Apparently, you have changed. And then you finally, like, you're hanging out with your dad, and he seems stressed. And then you're like, he's like, we gotta get out of here. And so then you guys get out of there, and you're getting out of there, and things are terrifying, and everything's crazy, and you think you're gonna finally get out of there, and then you're dead. And then I was like, whoa, what's this game about?
I should put this in perspective, just in case anybody out there is listening and for some reason has not played The Last of Us. First of all, just turn this off and go play the game.
It's a lot of spoilers. I don't want to ruin this for you. It's like we're going to kind of be ruining Game of Thrones for you a little bit. So,
if you haven't played it by now, you really made a mistake.
Yeah.
Why'd you click on this podcast?
They saw Ron Funches, man. They were into it.
Thank you.
He's handsome and a great father. So what are you going to put in perspective?
Oh, just to put in perspective, just the quick overview that The Last of Us is a game that takes place in a post-apocalyptic nightmare where a fungal zombie outbreak has taken place. And unlike other zombie games where the focus is you got to shoot zombies, you got to take care of the outbreak, this is a story that's really about acceptance and parenting and dealing with grief and loss.
Yes.
Game running away a lot.
Yeah. This is if there can be one, a realistic zombie game, because they're like, you've got 4 bullets, or you've got a shit ton of bullets then.
It's a world where if you're stupid, you don't exist.
Yeah.
It's like that's straight up it. It's just like you have to be the smart, at every choice is the right choice. Do you join evil people? Do you join good people? It doesn't matter, just survive.
Yeah. It is as realistic and as punishing as I feel the real world would be in a zombie outbreak, which is something I really appreciate.
Now,
the game
this
doing.
is a game that Jesse had to sit me down and be like, you're going to play this. And not like, oh, okay, most games, like a shooter, it's like, oh, figure stuff out, experiment with things. He's like, no, you're going to play this, and it's going to be an experience.
Yeah, I was
like
a real
to the
piece
point
of shit
where
too about this.
everybody, we were in a cabin, we were like hanging out in a cabin, and literally everybody went from whatever they were doing, smoking weed, drinking, whatever, to be like, what's this game? What are you guys playing? To the point where everybody's just watching me play this like movie, basically.
It's one of those games that's art. Things where you're like, oh, this is truly an experience. They put you into that world. You feel the emotions that are going on as being this new surrogate father, and you just. At the end of it, I was like, I don't need to play this ever again.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's it takes a toll.
Yeah.
It takes a deep emotional toll, and it's one of those kind of sadnesses you're glad you experienced in your life.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, because I think it's an experience none of us ever wants to have. You never want to lose your kid, and then you never would want to be in this position where you're taking care of another kid that's not necessarily yours, but you have feelings for, and no one else is going to take care of for this kid, and you have to help watch her grow up and become a fully capable murdering lady.
As we all want our children to grow up to be.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, here's a knife. Again, you've got to learn.
Yeah, you definitely have to learn.
So from this story, it starts out as Joel, as a father, main character. He loses his daughter, and he's in this world where essentially all zombies, they're basically zombies in a way that can evolve into like more
Terrifying zombies,
essentially. But this game deals a lot with Joel and his acceptance of his daughter died, and he never accepted it for what it was. He just buried that shit under his bed like he didn't want to clean his room, and he was just like, I don't want to deal with this in my life. And this other girl, who is the most important girl in the world.
The possible cure.
The possible cure is there, and she's the one that helps him, like, change
Helps
emotionally.
him accept and move on. Now, you said something really interesting at first. You said you have a specific viewpoint on this because you're a father. Mm-hmm. Something that Keith and I haven't experienced. So as
far as we know.
So as far as from a parental view, how does it feel in that moment, like watching Joel meet Ellie and knowing that this is what the game is going to be? Like, what does that emotional journey feel like on your end?
It's very interesting because at first you just feel that pain and you're like, oh, I would never want anything like that to happen. But then there's also like this thing where like, oh, okay, like even if the worst thing in the world happens to you, there still will be something to live for. And to me, that was a lesson that I learned from that game that was very interesting to me, that you could go through these traumas and have the absolute most tragic thing in the world happen to you, and you have to learn how to deal with that, and but you also have to just. He had to get up and still be a dad.
Yeah.
You know, he still had to take care of someone else that was still in him, even though a lot of that was just him, you know. Then he got confused about if that is his dog. He got his head was messed up for a while.
I wish there had been a point in the game where he just said it. Or he was just like being jumped in Pittsburgh, and he was like, God, I mean, if we're being fair to me, I've been through some shit.
Yeah, I got a lot of things on my plate right now.
But as you were saying that, like, that statement that you just made is perfect, because that is what the game is like, you show this guy who's already lived an adventure of a life. He's like in his 30s, he's got a daughter now, he has a house, he's like living this life. And then it's like 20 years later. Like, that's not even what the game is. It's now the game. Yeah. Now we're telling you the story of this man. It's like, that's crazy. So what you're saying is, like, even if the worst thing happens to you, there's going to be something in the future that's worth living for.
Yeah. And 20 years after the fact, that's an interesting thing that I sometimes think about. Like, there's been 20 years of Joel just being, like, gotta be, like, a little bit alcoholic, something going on.
He killed people.
Yeah.
Innocent people, because he needed to survive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, because my sister's heard about this game, and I never streamed before, and I'm like, I just have to show you this game. So I've been streaming it, and she animates and draws while I play the game.
Oh, cute.
And so she's watching this like it's a movie to her. So she's watching all the emotion, all the development, and seeing all this happen. And she's like, oh, it's like The Walking Dead. And I'm like, no, this came out like years ago. Like, a lot of stuff you've seen in The Walking Dead was like, it's in this before The Walking Dead even came out. Like, there's parts where she's like, oh, there's a warehouse full of dead bodies that, like, they capture people and, like, eat them and steal everything. I'm like, yeah, it's like, this is what this game is. It's horrifying. The world that they're in is horrifying, absolutely terrible.
At all turns, but it's also horrifying in a way that you're like, I think this makes sense given the logic of our culture that this is where we would head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cannibalism? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No more good people.
Yep.
They see a girl out there, they want to try to grab her and do God knows what to.
That was the most adorable way anybody's made that dark remark that I've ever heard in my life.
We know what. Are you guys excited for the sequel?
Oh, God, so excited. I mean...
She looks so mad.
She looks furious. What was it? They said the first game was about love and the second game is about hate, right?
That's what I remember.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know. Everything's about where is Joel, because I haven't seen Joel yet.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, so Joel has to be dead, or is it like going back and forth, or like what's the story?
It seems like it could go in any number of directions, but it looks brutal.
Yeah.
The
graphics really, it brings it up a whole nother notch. I don't know. I guess I trust you guys. I'll play it.
But if you're gonna make me feel even worse than I did the first time, I'm still gonna play it.
Are there any other like horror games that you do like? Or did you ever get into Resident Evil or anything like that?
I mean, I can find myself really. I just try to play good games. So, like, Resident Evil 4 is, like, you know, of course, one of my favorite games.
Right.
It was amazing. I tried the new one, but it was too terrifying.
Yeah.
I played it with 3 of my friends.
Yeah.
And we all just took turns screaming. And then...
Not even playing it, just screaming.
Just screaming at it.
Looking at the just like the console itself, just yelling.
Just looking at the game case. And so that lasted for like a day. we tried to get through that. We got to, I think, the very first little boss battle where you're in the garage.
Yeah.
And then we were
that dude just won't die.
Fuck this.
What about Death Stranding? Did you see that trailer?
I saw the trailer. Yeah.
Yes,
looks
no.
insane.
That looks
insane.
insane.
I mean, everything he does is insane.
Which one of them?
They're both insane. So I mean, it's exciting. It's definitely one more of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna wait for a review because like it's a smaller team. It's like I'm worried that it won't be. That's just gonna be like he's so weird that I feel like you need to like have him reined in a little bit. So him completely just doing whatever. I'm like, the baby's in your nose. I'm like, okay.
You're like, this is the worst M. Night Shyamalan twist ever.
But if the reviews are good, I'll be on board with it. But I'm not necessarily super. I'm most excited for the new Left 4 Dead, and then also
Left 4 Dead.
Excuse me, Last of Us.
There it is.
And then Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
That's what I mixed up.
Rockstar Naughty Dog just holding a monopoly over the best games over the last decade, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I mean, Nintendo did a good job this year.
Nintendo's killing it this year. Like, the Switch is really,
Switch is
like,
unbelievably fun.
It's them being like, so forget about Wii U for a second, and, like, here's a Switch. Like, go have fun. Like, we just made the best system.
The Switch feels very much like the sequel to N64.
Yeah.
It's like, it's finally arrived. And it is. Oh man, Mario Odyssey made me feel like
it's everything. When you even though you go back and look at the Wii U and you're like, oh, this is what they wanted to do.
Right? Yeah.
They
Exactly.
just couldn't do it at the time.
And then they were so smart. So like, all right, let's bring on Skyrim. Let's do Doom. Let's bring on all these big titles. And people are like, now swarming to it. That's really great.
Yeah, it's great. I just wish that they weren't always just shovel crap. Like, I mean, Skyrim is great, Doom is great, but then I guess I'll take any chance I get to talk trash about the WWE game.
Let's go through it. Well, what year was it like these are now bad? Like there had to be consistent where it was good.
It's been bad for so long. They've been bad for a while. I love wrestling.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
love video games. And so I'm like, I just want a great wrestling video game. Similar to how like NBA 2K, they're able to like make a basketball game that even not necessarily the people who love basketball want to play.
Yeah.
I want that with wrestling. I feel like there's such an easy opportunity to make a game about like the Monday Night Wars and the old 90s WCW, WWE type of thing.
Oh, dude.
And just the same type of thing as 2K, like a little showcase mode of you being in the past, having to work your way through this history, and just like, I mean, it's just business. They got to put it out every year, and so they don't get time to work on it, and then every year they spend $1 million on a fucking commercial with Snoop Dogg. And I go, oh, it looks pretty good this time. I'm gonna get it, and then it never works. It just glitches out. You can play games and the ref won't count the pin for you. And then, like, I got to deal with people who love wrestling so much that they'll just be like, it's pretty good. I'm like, no, this game is fucking
You're like,
trash.
just admit that it's bad.
Yeah, it is horrible. It's okay to play a game that's horrible, but just admit it's horrible.
I've been the biggest hockey fan my whole life, and I've played, like, every single NHL game since I was 6. And this was like the first 2 years, and I'm just like, no, like they're just bad games. I want to play them. Like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, just make it playable, and I will get it. And it's like, no, I see the flaws. I see every year it's just the same shitty fucking game over and over.
Do we want to talk about this? Because I'm a Final Fantasy fan, and fuck every game that's come out since 10. So hard.
I mean, I know that 15 wasn't like it had that chapter that was horrible. That was a horrible chapter.
Oh, it took 10 years to make.
But it wasn't that bad of a game. It had a good experience. I mean, I was bonded. I felt at the end, I was like, ooh, these are my friends.
The beginning was so funny when they're like, here, go read these posters on the wall. That'll tell you the backstory. It's like, you're Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You had 10 years.
Yeah.
And you're giving me a flashcard?
There's a bit of that, too. But, yeah, some games are just, I like that. I like talking about biggest disappointments. But for me, it's definitely wrestling games. It's just, they added loot boxes this year, too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So you like, for everything, for your moves, for everything, like anything that you wanted to do, you had to like, oh, I hope I can do an elbow drop. It's just garbage. Just hiding behind. And then they charge you like, from $60 to $120 for these versions of these games.
That's bullshit.
Just re-release No Mercy. I'll play that.
I was gonna say Royal Rumble, WWF. Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
That's my. That's the one I grew up playing. Bret the Hitman Hart all day. Hit that sharpshooter.
Always. What about you? You said yours was the NHL games.
Well, there's so many games. I felt like the one that really hit me was The Last Guardian, which was a game that I heard nonstop about. And then when it came out, people were like, all right, let's pretend this didn't come out. Everybody, go do something else.
Or, what was it? No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Oh, my God.
Which they've modded the hell out at this point.
That's fine, but it's still just a flight simulator.
Yeah,
with
horrible.
just weirder graphics.
My friend was stuck in it. He tried to convince himself that it was good for like a month.
We had a friend who did that exact same thing.
And then he was just like, and that to me was the worst because he's a friend of mine, alone for no time. He's broke dude, like I was until very, very recently. So I got him his PlayStation for Christmas so that we could play Overwatch together. And then it came with like the Uncharted collection.
Yeah,
I was like, you gotta play Uncharted 2. You've never played 2, and you gotta. I think it also came with the new one.
Yeah.
So I was like, you gotta play 2, then play 4. If you want to go back and play the other ones, that's fine. And then he was just like, no. Forever, he was just like, I'm playing No Man's Sky. I was like, what?
You're like, give me my PlayStation back.
Yeah. I was like, you don't deserve it.
Hey, man, I bought you this Ferrari. That's cool. I go in the garage and I turn it on, and then I don't drive it anywhere.
I eat McDonald's inside of it. It stays in my car. I don't do anything.
Give me my gift back, you fucking horrible human.
Yeah, it's like that's one of the... Uncharted 2 is like in my top 5 games of all time, and so I was just so mad at him for that. And I got no into that story. I'm mad at you about that game. Play Uncharted. Quit being an idiot.
So anyways, Joel is bleeding out. And so we need to get him help.
We want to go back to it. Real quick. There's a question I ask everybody who's played The Last of Us, and that is, how long did you stop and watch the giraffes at the end?
Oh, a long time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
That was awesome.
This is the best moment in the game, maybe.
Yeah, you're like, this is beautiful.
This is like, you can really tell, because, I mean, it takes a lot from Cormac McCarthy's The Road, and there's a scene in The Road where, like, they stumble across an old vending machine, and the kid gets to try Coca-Cola for the first time in this wasteland, and it's just like this pure, great moment. And I was like, that's nice. Here's the non-corporate version of that moment, of just Ellie seeing the giraffes running away. The music is haunting, a little bit nicer, still kind of like, but you guys are gonna die.
Yeah. I saw a beautiful thing.
I just pictured an executive reading The Road and being like, I liked it.
I thought it
sold a Coke.
Yep. Even when everything's terrible, I'm still making money.
Yeah. They put a quarter in my machine. I get that.
I love it when animals are in games. Like, I love that dog in Mario that wears the hat. That dude's cool. It's like, what are you doing? You're like a little detective. I love it in the Uncharted Lost Legacy where you're riding the elephant around.
That
was super fun.
Far Cry 2, you can do that.
Yeah, but that was more like first-person shooter-y.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just destroying people on an elephant. You're just like, I'm just riding an elephant. It was very peaceful.
When you're looking at the giraffes, that's that moment in the game where Joel keeps checking in with Ellie, because as a moment they're going to look for the fireflies, and Joel knows this might be the last time I ever see you.
Yeah.
This might be the last time I ever talk to you.
And she doesn't say it, but she knows it too.
She knows it too. You guys aren't saying the thing, which is like,
I love you.
I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't say it because it's like, you take a step back, you're like, what is this relationship? Because if this was going on in today's society, you'd be like, get away from each other. This isn't okay. But for some reason,
in post-apocalypse, it's the most
post-apocalypse, this particular situation makes it like, this is beautiful, and they're strangers, and now it's like they're family.
This game does a really great job of telling story through kind of just the gameplay itself. BioShock did that a lot, and I was a big fan of it when you would find the little recordings. But The Last of Us has this moment right before the giraffe scene that really hit me. And it's, the entire game using the mechanic of, you press triangle here and you boost Ellie up so that you can grab something, pull the ladder down. Mm-hmm. And the only time in the game where you go over, you press triangle, and it signals just this tiny little cutscene, this in-game scene, really, where he's just like, hey, Ellie, and she's just over sitting down on a bench, just with her head down, just thinking. It's the only time she's in a different place.
Yeah, it's the animation that you see repeatedly in video games to the point where it just becomes formulaic. You don't think about it anymore. And then your brain... Yeah, there's like a glitch in your brain of like, why isn't this moving forward? And then like that's that moment of like, this is now like very serious moment we have to like take in. It's no longer like you're trying to get to somewhere. It's like take in what they're about to say to each other.
And mostly through silence.
Yeah.
Like that entire scene is about the emotional effect that Ellie's having on Joel and vice versa through the silence of her being like, I just don't think I can do this right now.
Yeah, it's like so well acted.
Yeah.
That's the part that's so fun to watch and so enjoy. You're like, wow, this would be a great movie.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense. They use Hollywood caliber actors and actresses, but it's just for when people like to dismiss or belittle games, and it's just like, how could you like play this game and not look at it and be like, wow, there's so many worthwhile things that are going on in gaming and stories that are being told, and it's just a beautiful platform.
It's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, we that's what we try to take away from this podcast is when we talk to people, a lot of people initially are like, oh, video games, they think like Mario or kitschy stuff or like dorky cutie. I'm like, no, you don't get like, you can have an experience with this. This is like a medium that changes you, that you like have a connection to. My siblings don't really play video games, and they like a game called Ni no Kuni that they're like obsessed with, that Jesse's obsessed with. They're like, they sat there and played it all day. The Last of Us, my siblings like want to watch me play it.
Hey Keith, do you like mysteries?
I do. I mean, I hate when I don't know something, but I love mysteries. I love being explained.
Ask me that question.
Hey, Jesse.
What's up?
Do you like mysteries?
I'll never tell.
Come on. Well, from the creators of Missing Maura Murray and Crawlspace comes Empty Frames, a new investigative podcast aiming to find answers to one of the biggest mysteries the world has ever seen.
This is pretty cool.
This is just it's not a murder mystery, it's an
art heist mystery.
It's a thief mystery.
This is pretty cool, and I didn't know about it, and it happened in a place that was kind of my backyard, because I used to live here. But guys, in the early morning hours of March 18th, 1990, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, Massachusetts, fell victim to one of the most audacious art heists in modern history.
In 81 minutes, two thieves dressed as policemen made off with 13 pieces of artwork.
Degas and Rembrandt.
With an estimated value of $500 million.
God, that's crazy.
That's insane. How do I not know this?
It's a Rembrandt. That's so famous that it gets used in baseball now. That's how famous of a painter he was. Vermeer's The Concert was among the stolen pieces, and it's considered to be the most valuable stolen property in the world.
That's crazy.
That's
what?
Insane.
Deep within the criminal underground, theories of their whereabouts of those who perpetrated these heists are abundant.
Are they being kept together? Have they been determined to be too hot to handle and just destroyed instead of sold?
In Empty Frames, Tim and Lance from the popular true crimes podcast Missing Maura Murray and Crawlspace will dive into the case, exploring all the angles.
Along with investigators, reporters, art theft experts, and citizens, they will paint their own portrait comprised of the theories and the social and economic impact the greatest unsolved art heist of all time had on a community. On my community.
That's so...
That was my backyard.
You should know this.
This
They're
happened.
so rich. You should have gotten in on this.
Keith, I don't know if you know this, but our producer, Kristen, used to live, like, down the street from this museum.
Wait, what?
And now moved across country. I don't want to be the guy with a bunch of newspaper clippings and red yarn.
Are you telling me that Kristen definitely did this?
I'm just drawing some lines.
So search and subscribe to Empty Frames today on Apple Podcasts or wherever your favorite listening destination is. God, how did... $500 million? Because this is like an experience. It's no longer a thing where it's like, oh, quarters, you're like a nerdy person. It's like, this is what the future is.
By the way, both of those games that you just mentioned, between The Last of Us and Ni no Kuni, those are games about accepting death of a family member.
So my siblings are obsessed with death of family members. That's what you're telling me. Thank you. I've put that together now. I've put that together.
Just saying, watch your back, bro.
But last episode we just dropped was Mortal Kombat. And it's like, killing people, jokes. Oh, did you get to see blood? Oh, my God, Scorpion.
Babalities.
And now this is like, no, this was a very serious moment. We all felt something.
Yeah. This left the ending to this game. I was involved in this game. Like, I was watching my roommate at the time play it, and it was just like, I'm not even playing it yet. I'm just watching him, and I'm like, I just need to watch the entire thing. And it became a thing that whenever we were both home, we would just sit down, he would play Last of Us, I would watch, and we would just, like, geek out over it and have a great time. And then at the end, I just, like, freaked out. Because the end is not what I wanted. And it took me a long time to come to terms. It took me like a month of being like, I ain't ready to talk about it. It was weirdly traumatizing for me. And then when I finally sat down, he had accepted it. Like, he had moved so much faster emotionally with it. To sit down and be like, he was lying to her, and to have my roommate go, yeah, man, but she knew, and that's what she wanted in the first place because they loved each other. I was like, that's not how stories usually go, and it challenges my perception of what morality is. It just like fucked with my brain, like a good movie or book would.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end, because that's like the whole story is at the very end, he just did whatever he had to do to protect her, and get through and make her feel better, and then but we as we know it's like she was doing the same for him.
There's a lot of games that you beat, and there's some games that you don't realize you're connected to till it's over. Zelda Ocarina of Time, until like they have the cutscene where all the people in the village are like dancing near the fire and stuff, I was like, oh my god, I talked to all my friends in school about this. I talked to adults about this, and the game's over. Like, I experienced a masterpiece of like art that like humanity's contributed to like society and the world. And it's like, this is art. Like, it really is. Like, to compare it to Picasso or something, people are like, oh, that's bizarre. But I'm like, you don't get, a lot of people put their heart and energy into making an amazing game that people have an emotional connection to. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the level of difficulty in creating a product that not necessarily is I mean, not to belittle actual art.
Go for it.
When you're just looking at it, it's like you have just that perspective of you're just taking it in, and then a lot of it is how you choose to respond to it. A good game developer has so much more to worry about. About the controls and you being inside of it and making sure that the controls feel good first of all, and then having to deal with the fact that like, oh, I want you to go right, but what if you decide to go backwards and left? I better have something that makes it worthwhile that you did that.
While your boss is trying to push loot crates onto you for the game.
Yeah, loot crates are the devil. I want to say that out loud to people. I assume you guys get people who work in games that listen to you. Please just stop doing loot crates. You're like DraftKings or fucking. You're just shyster right now. You're a carny. We already paid for the game. I already paid a lot of money. If you want to charge me $70, charge me $70. But don't try to screw me out of another like $300, $400 with these fucking loot crates. Unless you're Overwatch, those are fine.
You're drawing a lot of
cosmetics.
I should really backpedal. I meant to say loot boxes instead of loot crate. Loot crate sponsors us. Loot crate's fine. Don't sit on loot crate.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I meant loot boxes.
That's a specific
Shit
brand.
all over loot boxes.
Loot crate, it's just like a surprise every month. You don't know what you're getting.
We're using that as a sponsor.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Loot box is a devil. Loot crate, however, is a fine service.
Do we want to jump into a game?
You want to do a game?
Let's do it.
It's time for How Well Do You Know Your Favorite Video Game? Yeah, man. It's going to be real simple. It's a lightning round, bunch of questions. You got 3 seconds to answer
and
each
they're
one.
all definitely about the video game.
Oh, yeah. They're all about the video game. There's 0% chance
There's no reason.
Oh, I'm probably going to fail this. This is like one of my favorite games, but again, I played it once. And then I moved on because I was like, this is terrifying. And so I barely recall any. So
this is gonna be perfect.
Let's do it. Lightning round. How well do you know your favorite video game? The Last of Us edition. Question 1. After completing the game, what aspect of the title screen changes?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like maybe it goes from being the two of you to just now Ellie is in the front or something. I don't remember. Or maybe they're just like it comes into like a video where you're all dancing like 1980s style. Just like the blooper reel where it shows everybody's okay.
Yes, that's correct. Since we've written down all of that.
Yeah.
Ellie's knife is shown in the window frame.
Oh,
yeah.
Question 2. What are the names of the two brothers that Joel and Ellie meet in Pittsburgh?
Oh. Shit. Guys, I admit I never played this game. I never heard of it. Hank?
They're both Hank. Yeah, they're both Hank. Sam and Henry.
Ooh, okay. I mean, those are very hard names to remember. But I'm sure somebody else is like, Ron, you suck. I know all of these.
All of our listeners are incredibly aggressive. Question 3. Who is the only American president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms?
Oh, Woodrow Wilson.
Grover Cleveland.
Okay, sure.
Which 4 states do we get to see Joel and Ellie travel through during the course of this game?
Okay. So there's Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm gonna say New York, Boston, New Vegas. And the Mushroom King.
Yeah.
Oh, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Utah. Question 5.
They travel far.
Yeah.
They go all the way across the country. All right, question 5. Which Toy Story character has a name that would double as a great name for a beer?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. Buzz Lightyear?
That's it. That's correct.
We also had accepted Tim Allen.
Great name for a
Yeah,
beer.
that is a good one.
Question 6. How many Firefly pendants can you collect in the game?
I'm gonna just say 99.
Wayne Gretzky loves this podcast. 30.
Okay, that's
30.
close.
That's good.
Question
That's
7. What is 8 times 7?
Ooh.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I lost tracks. 56? Yeah! It took me forever.
Question 8. What the fuck is going on in the world?
I mean, there's just a lot of things. It's okay. So it's like we were in a really good roll of positivity. A lot of things were going on, moving forward, and then there's just like anything, like the laws of nature. Any action will have a positive and negative reaction, and we're kind of right now dealing with that reaction. So it seems like a lot of negativity is going on. A lot of negative people are in power. But what that is also showing you is that like that's always kind of been the case, and now we're more upset about it, and there's more of an upheaval about it. So when you see things like people getting more in trouble for like sexual assaults or sexual harassments or just being bad dudes, it's not like, oh, all of a sudden there's a bunch of shitty dudes. It's like, no, it's a positive now that we're being like, no, you can't act like that. And so we're kind of going through this upheaval of getting rid of that, which is all really the cause of like having one shitty person be the lead of things. So it really, thank you, I guess.
Correct.
Can you come back every week?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Question 9. What is the name of the character who jumped Tess and stole her shipment of guns? It feels very silly to ask this question after that explanation.
Robert Larry.
Yeah! It was Robert.
Yes.
Nice.
Fuck.
Yes, perfect. Okay, question 10. What is the official name of the infection that plagues the world in The Last of Us?
Plant head.
Honestly, just as creative as this. Mushroom brain infection.
Question 11. Since your favorite Creed song is definitely Can You Take Me Higher, what is your second favorite Creed song?
Creed. We're Creed. I love being Creed. It's fun. That's my Creed. That's it.
I'm sorry, the correct answer was, oh my God, so many great songs. How do you choose?
The whole catalog.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it. That's
Question
it.
12. What is the name of the comic book series that Ellie reads throughout the game?
Oh, shit. I don't know. But I remember it. I can see it in my because you had to pick up so many around.
Savage Starlight.
Oh, yeah.
And question 13. Hey, man, can we borrow some money?
Sure. Like, I mean, like, how much do you need? And is it like, I mean, is it a loan or is it like you just need money? Because I'm okay with either, but just be honest and upfront with me.
I'm sorry, the correct answer was no, you guys do a podcast, so there's no way you can pay me back.
That's it.
That is a good
This has been How Well Do You Know Your Favorite Video Game? Ron Funches. I mean,
For
you
somebody
know
who's only
so
played
many.
it once, Robert,
Yeah.
and that was very impressive.
I fully admit there's so many other games that I played a lot more. If we did like Super Mario 3, I know a lot about
Oh,
that.
bro.
Funches is coming back.
If you want to come back and talk about Super Mario 3.
Sure.
Did you play the Wii remake? I mean, it's not really a remake, but it's a remake.
Mario Brothers?
Yeah, the Super Mario Brothers 3
Yeah.
for Wii, the original Wii, not the Wii U.
Why is it different?
It just has a few new mechanics introduced, but yeah, it's the same kind of. Yeah, it's like if you shake the controller, you can spin and get a little extra on your jump. You can,
Okay, that's not pure though.
Yeah.
I need it to be pure.
Yeah.
I like it.
You like that original NES?
Yeah, I mean, I played so often, and I played as a kid. It's my favorite game of all time. So I played a lot of it when I was a kid, and then I went back as an adult and was just like, let me beat every level.
Yep.
Like, let me not skip any levels.
None of those warp flutes.
Yeah, no, not this time. Oh, that was one of the last things that happened. I was dating, and she was a wonderful lady, and I want to stress that she's a beautiful, wonderful, very, very nice lady. But we went to a party together in Palm Springs, and I brought my little NES Classic, and then her friends were like all excited about it, and so then I was like, cool, I'm playing Super Mario 3. Do you want to play it? Let her boyfriend play. The first thing he does is use my whistle. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What type of fucking savage are you? You didn't grab the whistle. Why the fuck you think you get to blow the whistle? And then he didn't even go to Giant World. He went to fucking Water World. What the fuck? You don't grab someone's whistle. First off, never put your hands on another man's whistle. Secondly, if you do, you better be taking us to Giant World, which is the best world in all Super Mario 3. Everybody knows that. And if you don't even think that Water World is not in your top 5, I know that for a fact. Why the fuck did you take that whistle and go there? And that's why we had to break up. If that's your friend? That's your friend?
Welcome to New Players Join, where we're talking about Super Mario 3 with Ron Funches.
Holy
Oh, that was awesome. Jesse, we gotta do it.
I mean,
We gotta do it.
There's so much.
We gotta do it.
I want to unpack just in that last bit. Level 4 Super. This is the Giant World, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
Ron, we got another fun game.
We got a game for you.
We got another fun game.
It's everybody's favorite game.
Oh, okay.
And it's time for Can You Guess the Name of the Video Game based on how somebody who doesn't play video games described the video game to us.
I like that.
And the way this works is my girlfriend Kristen, who is not a gamer,
Oh, that's cute.
watches me play video games, and then she describes those games to me, and we just take those hints and we figure out, can the people who aren't in the room figure out what game she is describing?
That's supportive of her. I like that.
All right, are you ready? We're gonna give you a few different of her descriptions for each
Okay.
game. You can
Okay.
guess after each
So
time.
we're gonna give you like 5 hints, so
Okay,
you keep
so
guessing.
this is all one game.
Yep.
This
Okay.
first one. All right, so first hint. She says the one with the impractical way of opening crates.
That's a lot of games. It's a lot of games. You bash a lot of crates in games. Crash Bandicoot is my first guess, but I'm guessing that's not right. Let's give me another hint.
Dude, it's Crash Bandicoot.
Yay! I'm
That was
good
the
at
first time anyone's ever done that, where they're like, it's not this, and we're like, it is that.
Fuck!
Okay.
Oh, I knew I should have switched them around.
Number 2 is...
The second hint.
The second hint is it makes 0 sense that you have a belly button.
Yep. Hint number 3 was there's a glitchy Jumanji mascot Instagram filter following you around.
Okay, then definitely Crash Bandicoot.
Number 4, Indiana Jones meets Trash Panda in Converse.
Okay, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Got it.
And your AC Slater with fur and emo leather wrist cuffs.
Oh, that's cute. That's true. She's very astute.
That,
Well, fuck,
that was good.
That was very fast.
We have 3 more games, so we're
Okay.
gonna keep this going.
I'm glad we got extras.
Number 1, this is the new game. Lobotomy Mickey Mouse does a bunch of squats.
Oh, okay.
Lobotomy Mickey Mouse does
So
a bunch of
brainless
squats.
Mickey Mouse, but it's a mouse, and he's buff.
That image just
Oh, he's
horrified
got- yeah.
me.
He's not necessarily buff.
I think
but
you
he's
just
got
described a
strong
kangaroo.
Legs. He got strong legs, but he lost his top of his head. Okay. I'm gonna need another clue.
All right, clue
I
number-
don't have a guess off of that yet.
Number 2. I think it was a propaganda film about the dangers of caffeine or giant birds or something.
Is it a Cuphead?
Jesus Christ! These are easy for you.
This is not.
I love Cuphead.
Number 3 was almost every inanimate object is a Cheshire cat smiling at you.
Yeah, that's Cuphead.
Number 4, you have to kill Rhett Butler's tuba to escape the M.C. Escher painting.
That's
And number 5 is it has Porky Pig's nefarious uncle.
oh yeah.
I have-
Right.
listen,
or whatever his name was.
We've never seen anybody
No.
just rip these out.
Usually the listeners are like also playing along where they're trying to guess, and I'm certain they're gonna be like, "No!" like the moment you answer it every
Crash
time.
Bandicoot. Cuphead's great though. Did you guys beat it?
No,
No.
I didn't.
I did.
I watched it because I was just like, I'm just going to get so mad if I
It's
try to beat
difficult,
That-
but it made some of the most intense high fives I've ever had in my
Yeah.
life.
this. Yeah, man.
Me and my buddy, we went through it 2 players, and it was a trip.
Oof, it's
I
those
love
parries, man.
it. Yeah,
That's the whole game, is just being able to parry.
it's so difficult, but so worth it. It's great.
Oh, God. I
Two-
mean,
2 more games,
jeez, this
2
is
more
going
games.
so fast.
and like take it easy.
Okay. Trust
relax.
me, I'm nervous about it.
All right, hit number
I
1.
don't want people to think I'm a poser.
Yeah, I think after the Super Mario Brothers 3 story, nobody's going to be like, this guy doesn't like games.
Doesn't play games.
All right, hit number 1. The ketchup fart game.
Okay, the ketchup fart game. Definitely not enough information. I think of games that have ketchup, or they just make ketchupy fart sounds. I'm only thinking of Overcooked, but I don't. I don't even think you use ketchup in Overcooked, so that's not it. Okay, second clue.
All right.
Number 2. I imagine this is how Keebler elves let off steam.
Ooh, okay. So it's like a food fight type of game with cookies that are involved. And they're throwing food around or something. Okay, clue number 3.
All right. The one where Rufio and the Lost Boys redecorate.
Oh, I'm blanking. Give me another one.
Okay, last one.
I think he's just playing along with us.
I think he's being very
don't know.
nice
I really
about
don't
it. It's
know.
just Ron,
He's toying with us.
Ron, take it easy. A bunch of juice boxes come to life and have a paintball fight.
Ooh, is it Splatoon?
God damn it! Oh, God damn it!
Nice.
Oh, motherfucker.
You can't see this, right?
No.
Okay, this is going over. We have one
That
more.
makes sense now. That makes sense. The food fight, ketchup. The ketchup. Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
Because you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've experienced what this game is, because most of the time nobody gets anything right, and at the end they're like, "Oh my god!" Like it's like a swarm of information finally hits their
It does
brain.
make sense. Yeah, I love Splatoon.
Motherfucker. All right.
Next one.
All right. Last one.
'Kay.
3 for 3. First of all, better than anybody's ever done.
So
Yay!
We normally don't even do 4 with people, but we're going to do the 4th one because you got ours. You got 2 on the first guess. All right. Number 1. An aggressive Pokemon ball with a mustache drops literal bombs on you and then abandons you.
Because of Pokemon bomb with a mustache drops bombs on me and abandons me. I got some ideas, but I'm gonna need another clue.
Okay, number 2. A time capsule explodes and releases all of the Bugs Bunny offspring.
Is this Sonic the Hedgehog?
God damn it.
Fuck!
God damn it. How?
That was my first guess. With the first one, I was like, "Oh, is it Dr. Robotnik's Beam Machine?"
Jesus!
But then I was like, that doesn't make sense. But I get it now with the mustache and the Pokemon egg. That's definitely
He looks
Dr.
like a
Robotnik.
Pokeball.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck, dude.
Kristen and Ron need to be like reviewing movies together, and like it's like their vocabulary.
No,
Everything.
they're not allowed in the same room. Because I don't want some like really good comedian stealing my girl. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what they're all into.
Ooh, video game knowledge.
Yeah, I love your video game knowledge and the fact that you're never home.
Oh, all right.
Ron, 4 for 4.
We had two more on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Did you? Yeah, tell them.
They were number 3. I like the geometric sunflowers. And
That makes sense.
and the one that I
yeah.
think would have given it away.
If your butt touches the lava, you poop out jewelry.
Yeah, that's
always-
definitely Sonic.
yeah, man.
That's
He shits a
definitely-
lot of gold
He
rings.
does, but as long as you hold on to one, you're fine.
That's the most. Yeah, that's what the game is.
Yeah, you want to get 100, but just you need one.
You need one. Holy fuck. Guys, this has been Can You Guess the Name of the Video Game based on how someone who doesn't play video games described the video game to us.
I can.
Jesus.
That was great.
Ron, what the fuck, dude? How? That was
I have
so...
to make up for the lack of love.
First of all,
Last of Us.
nobody does well
No.
on how well do you know your favorite video
No.
game, and then nobody does well on Can You Guess the Name. So like, you just trounced everyone.
I love games. I do love video games very much.
Oh my god! I mean, do we want to get a little more Last of Us before we?
Yeah,
go
I
into
want
it?
to talk about it just like a little bit more. I think the thing about this game especially is it's a game where if you play it, you have to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
Like this is a game where if everybody's played it, nobody's been like or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they never just like brushed it
It
to
was
the side.
aight.
Like it was fine. Like I didn't feel anything or what have you. Like when the sequel got announced, it's not at all the same because I don't want to compare because Final Fantasy VII Remake took forever to finally come out and there's like rumors about it forever. But the moment like everybody saw Ellie playing the guitar was like a
freaked out.
holy shit, like you've done something different. She's older now, like we've changed, like where's Joe? Like it was so exciting to see. It's such a like an experience. Again, like you see the people's experiences about it.
Yeah, what really makes me think about is when you see games that are created and put out simply because they have another story to tell.
Yeah.
As opposed to like
That money
they
grab.
want a sequel, so let's give them a
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of games that are a lot of movies. Like I mean, I think it's just like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, I didn't go see the sequel because I was like, it's just more
Yeah.
of the first one. Like I want a whole new story.
Yeah.
Get something in that, and that's what I think. There's just a handful of developers that are good at that. It's
Yeah.
just Naughty Dog and like I guess not necessarily story based, but gameplay places like Blizzard, and then what was the third one? Oh, Rockstar.
Yeah.
And then Project with The Witcher. The Witcher is really
Yeah,
great.
But I've
like
never got into The Witcher.
it's really hard to. It's once you're in it, you're like, oh my god, this is phenomenal. But the moment you take a step away from it, you're like, okay, now it's way too much to like
it
go
seems
back
like
into.
a lot. I get it. It's fun because it seems like, I'm Batman, but like I don't have to hide in the shadows. I'm just like I just solve things and I just do things when I see fit, and often I have sex with people, and they're beautiful ladies. But I've never been as much of a gamer and nerd as I am. I've never been that into the fantasy setting.
Yeah.
It seems extremely Caucasian to me.
This is somebody who likes wrestling.
I love a lot of things, and I like a lot of things that are predominantly mostly Caucasians like. But this one in particular just seems hard to break through. It just seems a little, and maybe that's just me being racist. And I'm willing to work on that. But
It's my favorite thing so far. This fantasy world is too Caucasian.
Well, like, let's be real. Like, yeah, it's like you look at Lord of the Rings. It's like it's not hitting. It's not crazy cool. So it's like I get it.
Yeah, like that's why I've always liked Fallout, and I've never been that into like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Same engine, same type
Yeah.
of vibe, but I can see myself more in a world of lasers and like
Yeah.
robots and things like that, as opposed to like being an elf. You know? Which I get, both are fine. I'm not trying to put it down, but that's just for me. I think it's a lot like improv.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely. As somebody who's done improv, oh man, you just look back and go, oh, I guess I am that white.
Yeah, no, there is nothing whiter in this world than being an adult person going zip, zap, zap.
So go take some classes at UCB, $800 a class.
Yeah, $800 a class to do the whitest thing known to humanity. Oh my God. Hey, anybody else want to go to an NHL game after this improv practice?
Yeah. There's nothing whiter than having your parents pay for improv.
We have a final
five.
Final five. It's called Final Five.
We ask all of our guests the same 5 questions, and they're definitely all made up. There isn't one that's stolen from inside the actor's studio.
We didn't steal the last question from the inside the actor's studio. So, first question.
Okay.
If you could be any video game character,
Okay.
who would you be and why?
I would be Skate from Streets of Rage 2.
Oh, fuck yes.
Fuck yeah.
Because he's a dude who fights while he wears skates.
That's the best.
And he eats turkey off the ground. And he wears a backwards hat. And I was like, oh, you're a fun black youth at a time where I need a positive example in my life. So I would be Skate from Streets of Rage 2.
I picture you being like, I need a positive example in my life, and somebody's beating somebody up.
Yeah.
And like, there we go.
Skate's beating up. He's using a pipe to hit a dude on a jetpack. Like, fuck this. And you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah. He's hitting people that they may very well be cross-dressed.
Yeah, when you look back on that game, there's a very thin line there. You're like, I'm not sure if these people are like punks trying to kick my ass,
or they're just trying to walk the streets at night and be safe. I don't know who's the villain here.
Oh, I gotta go replay that game now and really ask myself some tough questions. All right, question 2. If you could get rid of one game in video game history, what would it be?
If we get rid of one game, probably the Batman game from the NES.
Oh, okay.
In the past, because it was incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It was cheaply hard, and it ruined a lot of because I only had very few dollars that could be put towards games.
Right.
So I had to really choose carefully. And with that game, I did not choose carefully. It was horrible. And I would just be like, you should not exist as a game. So I could go back and get Street Fighter 2 or something. I made a bad mistake. I made that mistake a lot of times. When you're a kid, that's when I learned about reading video game magazines and reading reviews, because I was like, I can't buy James Pond again. Like, why did I think that was
Ask Jesse what he got for Christmas, Sega Saturn or an N64.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Oh, dude, I've been there. They tricked you. They had that sale where they were like, you could get Virtual Cop, Virtual Fighter, and Daytona USA with the Sega Saturn, and you were like, that's a deal. But they didn't tell you that there were not going to be any other games that were coming out.
That is...
I'm just saying to like another person who's like, oh, they've been there. Just like, I made a bad choice.
Yeah, I made that same choice.
I've never met anybody who articulated back to me exactly what Christmas in 1999 looked like.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, oh, I get the gun too.
Those games.
Then they're like, oh man, everything looks good over at PlayStation.
Yep.
Okay, Battle Arena Toshinden? What is this?
Don't forget Panzer Dragon and Knights, dude. Don't forget those great games.
Knights I love Knights. I love Knights, but maybe I just had Stockholm Syndrome.
Wait. Real quick, though. You ever heard of a game called Albert Odyssey?
Which one?
Albert Odyssey.
It sounds familiar, but no, you have to describe it.
We're going to get there,
I thought
Jesse.
you said Oddworld. I thought you were talking about
Abe's Oddworld is a different game.
Yeah.
We have it's the game that I played on Sega Saturn that turned me on to JRPGs for the rest of my life, and I've never met a single other person who's ever played it.
I feel like this game was made up. They just got you with it. No, I think literally all I played on my Sega Saturn was those 3 games, and then they had a pretty great version of Tomb Raider 2. The superior version. And they had Nights in the Dreams, and I was all about that.
There you go.
And then my Saturn broke, and I got a PlayStation. So.
Yeah, man, you're not wrong to make that move.
And then the Naughty Dog fan took off.
Yeah, seriously, then crashed right there.
Question 3. If you were to make up a video game title for your life, what would it be?
Ron Funches, the adventure of a guy just chilling, and sometimes he gets to touch butts.
multiplayer.
Yeah, please. The more the better.
The first
Got
player
that
gets
6-player multi-tap.
First player gets to be Ron. Second player is his friend who just follows you around going, "You guys want to play No Man's Sky?" Oh,
Great.
Sometimes gets to touch butts.
Sometimes.
That's the boss.
By far our most positive video game title somebody's come up with themselves.
Most of them are like, "This person's sad and then life is over."
No, I don't get that. That seems like old comedy, you know?
Right?
To be like, I'm the worst. I never get sex. It's like, no, I'm very handsome and I do like very well in my career. A generally nice guy. Not every woman is into my style, but like if you're a fun, cute nerd girl that doesn't like, you're like, oh, I don't need you to be all aggressive all the time, but then sometimes I am. Then you like, oh, I get it. Ron's a trait.
Fuck, I love this. All right. Question 4. What one aspect of video game life do you wish was true in real life?
Probably this that our money was like gold coins. Like that would be the best. If your money was like legitimate, like gold rings from Sonic, and you just like have to carry those around. I don't know how you get change, but it's like
That's super heavy.
it would be fun to like legitimately. And then,
This sounds very fantasy. For somebody who doesn't say they're into fantasy, somebody walking with a coin purse of gold change.
no, not tokens. Giant gold ring.
Oh, giant gold ring. I was gonna say
Yeah.
it sounds John Wick at the beginning.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good move.
That is a good movie. That movie
That
caught
would
me
be a
off guard.
good game too.
Right?
Final question, and we didn't steal this from anyone.
No, stop calling us
James Lipton, we don't want your phone calls. If heaven exists, what would you like your God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Probably like, hey, the weed's over there.
I love that he doesn't even give you some. He just tells you where it's at.
Yeah, no.
Like he knows what you're gonna ask.
It's over there.
And here he knows that he's gonna be like, you can just be high all the time. You don't even need to smoke. And he's
No,
like,
but
no,
you
I
gotta-
need to
yeah.
smoke. No, I need to have
it's
the weed.
part of the ritual.
So he's like, yeah, I know. It's over there.
He's so chill about it.
Yeah.
It's like he was talking to somebody else. He saw you come in. He was like, weed's over there.
Yeah,
and
like,
then he
yeah.
just turned back.
Like he's
yeah, we'll get to know each other another time. You know, I got eternity. But for now, we get first things first.
I'm dead. This is stressing me out.
Oh, fuck. All right.
But before we end this, Ron,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
something. We want to give away a signed copy of The
Okay.
Last of Us, and we'd really
Is
appreciate
the plastic still on that thing?
You just
Yeah, you have to, but you just slip off the cover, right? Like, oh, it is. It's fully wrapped.
That's what I was
fully
saying.
wrapped. So what we're gonna do, everybody, is Ron Funches is for real signing a copy of The Last of Us
For PlayStation
for
4.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with the development of the game.
But he's gonna sign it like he did
And he's going to write whatever the fuck he wants. on
whatever the
inside.
fuck he wants. He can write all over it if he wants.
Yeah, I'm signing the actual game.
He's gonna sign
go.
the actual game.
And
The way that you enter in to win this is you have to email us at newplayerhasjoinedpodcast at
oh no, we're doing the Twitter, right?
Oh shit, you're
Yeah,
right.
we're tweet. You
Forget
gotta
that.
tweet
We're
at
gonna
us.
edit all this out. What you guys
No,
need
it's
to
staying
do
in.
is you need to draw a picture of anything totally original and tweet it at us.
Yep.
You are immediately entered in to win a copy of The Last of Us signed by the hilarious Ron Funches.
That's at New Player Pod. Draw anything.
Anything.
I don't care. I don't
At
care
New
what it
Player
is.
Pod. We're
and then
gonna-
just take a picture and tweet it at us.
We're probably going to plug this again. We're probably going to tweet this again. But yes, just draw anything you want. It could be cool. It could be nice. It could be very mean.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I mean, we're going to show it to everybody, so don't go crazy. But, like, we'll just send us whatever you want.
And then you'll be automatically entered to win the PlayStation 4 copy of The Last of Us.
And trust us, Ron didn't just kind of write on it. He's fucking writing
going
on
to
it. He's going to
town.
town on this thing.
I love it.
And you're going to love it. So, again, hit us up, tweet at us a picture of anything you want at New Player Pod. correct?
This is great. At New Player Pod. This is great. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ron.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
If you guys want to follow me,
Yes.
just Twitter. Ron Funches.
Anything you want to plug?
So we have two last final things.
Okay, that you guys set it up.
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry for
you're totally fine. Plug away all you want.
want.
We're not, so you totally had that right.
Okay.
Final two things, which is what would you like to plug?
Okay.
And secondly, where's your favorite place to eat? Anywhere. In America, like
in the world.
Because you're
Doesn't
touring
matter.
and so wherever you go. Where's your favorite?
Okay. Well, I'd like to just plug just general Twitter and Instagram. Ron Funches at Ron Funch on Instagram. And I guess maybe the Trolls cartoon that's on Netflix. If you're gonna watch that with your kids, do that. That's fine. That'll give me money. My favorite place to eat. I'll give you a couple. In town, it's called Le Petit Trois, which is just this little French restaurant nestled in a beautiful area right by a gas station and California Donuts. But it's got like some of the best French food in LA. It's got a pretty delicious burger that I love, and it's very tiny, and it's they play nothing but like hip hop music, and it's just like a great place to take a date. So I recommend it if you're in Los Angeles. If you're in Florence, Italy.
Yes.
There's a little restaurant. I forgot the name of it, but you'll know because it was like created in like the 1800s, and they have like the best lasagna. It has the consistency of pudding, and then you're like, how the fuck was I eating regular like full-face lasagna before? I should only be eating lasagna with a spoon. And it's the best food. Just Florence, Italy in general has the best food I've ever had. Every meal was better than the last. So if you can go there, get the chance. Also a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch. With playing games late at night, get that bowl of cinnamon toast crunch out. You can't go wrong. So depending on your levels of life, those are three choices.
Those are all great choices.
Motherfucker, this has been fun.
This has been so much fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing the show with us. I really appreciate it.
Me. I
This
love
is terrific.
talking games. So
man.
Thank you.
Come back to talk about Mario 3.
Oh,
Super Mario.
absolutely. Talk about Super Mario 3 anytime.
I'd love to. Please.
Ron Funches,
Jesse Neal,
Keith Kingbay, all in the same sentence. Finally.
We did it.
Finally.
This has been New Players Joined.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Why the fuck did you take that whistle and go there? And that's why we had to break up. If that's your friend.
Hey guys, since our podcast is pretty new, it means not a ton of people know who we are yet.
That's a polite way of saying it, yes.
So if you could head to iTunes, and if you enjoyed this show, if you could rate us and review us 5 stars, that would be amazing. Thank you.